नहमदुहु व नुसल्ली अला रसूलिहिल करीम अम्मा बाद फ़ाऊज़ु बिल्लाहि मिनश शैतानिर रजीम बिस्मिल्लाहिर रहमानिर रहीम क़ाल अल्लाहु तआला फ़िल क़ुरान अलम नशरह लका सदरक सदक़ल्लाहुल अज़ीम। First of all, I welcome to all of you. My name is Shazim Ali along with my friends Faisal, Shahryar and Asjad. The topic which is assigned to us is intelligence and cognitive. First, I will explain what is intelligence. Actually, there are many ways to define intelligence. High-level abilities like abstraction reasoning, mental representation, problem solving, and decision making. The ability to learn emotional knowledge, creativity, and adaptation to meet the demands of environment effectively. We can say that intelligence is a collection of mental abilities. It is the ability to think, to learn from experience, to solve problems, and to adapt to new situations. Psychologists believe that there is a construct known as general intelligence that counts for the overall difference in intelligence among people. Now I am going to explain theories of intelligence. While intelligence is one of the most talked about subjects in psychology, there is no standard definition. Some researchers have suggested that intelligence is a single general ability. Others believe that intelligence encompasses a range of aptitudes, skills, and talents. Psychologists contend that intelligence is genetic or inherited, and some other psychologists claim that it is largely influenced by the surrounding environment. Robert Sternberg viewed intelligence as how well an individual deals with environmental changes throughout their lifespan. He said that mental activity directed towards purposive adaptation to selection and shaping of real-world environments relevant to one's life. His theory identifies three types of intelligence. The first one is practical intelligence, the second one is creative intelligence, and the last one is analytical intelligence. Practical intelligence is the ability to get along in different contexts. Creative intelligence is the ability to come up with new ideas. And analytical intelligence is the ability to evaluate information and solve problems. For further explanation, I would like to call Faisal.
Salam to everyone. Now I'll describe Spearman's general intelligence. General intelligence, also known as a chief factor, refers to a general mental ability that, according to Spearman, underlies multiple specific skills including verbal, spatial, numerical, and mechanical. Charles Spearman, an English psychologist, established the two factors theory of intelligence back in 1904. To arrive this theory, Spearman used a technique known as a factor analysis. In the case of intelligence, Spearman noticed those who did well in one area of intelligence test also did well in other areas. In the other words, we can say there was a strong correlation between performing well in math and music, and Spearman then attributed this relationship to a central factor, that of general intelligence. So Spearman concluded there is a single G factor which represents an individual's general intelligence across multiple abilities, and that a second factor S refers to an individual's specific ability. So now I represent Spearman's general intelligence diagram, which represents, you can see that G is a general factor which across represent individual general intelligence. Here you can see G is a general factor which represents individual general intelligence across multiple activities, and that second factor as so mechanical, verbal, and spatial and.
I am Shahryar Zadi. Now I can discuss about the Thurston's primary mental abilities. In 1938, Thurston challenged the concept of G factor. After analyzing data from 56 different tests of mental abilities, he identified a number of primary mental abilities that comprise intelligence as opposed to one general factor. The 7 primary mental abilities in Thurston's model are verbal comprehension, verbal fluency, number facility, spatial realization, perceptual speed, memory, and inductive reasoning. In 2013, Thurston succeeded in Sternberg. Now I can define the Gardner's multiple intelligences. Following the work of Thurston, American psychologist Howard Gardner built off the idea that there are multiple forms of intelligence. Then he proposed that there is no single intelligence but rather distinct, independent multiple intelligences exist, each representing unique skills and talents relevant to a certain category. And the next one is Gardner in 1983 and 1987 initially proposed seven multiple intelligences, in which the first one is linguistic, and then logical, mathematical, and then spiritual, musical, and then bodily, kinesthetic, and then interpersonal and the intrapersonal, and in which since added naturalist intelligence. And now it can be shown in the diagram of Gardner multiple intelligences, in which the first one is naturalist, in which we can say that the understanding living things and a reading nature, and the spiritual can be a visualization the world in 3D. Now in can the linguistic finding the right words to express what you mean, and in intrapersonal understanding yourself and what you feel and what you want, and the musical the sounds, their pitch, tone and rhythm and timbre, and the bodily kinesthetic corresponding your mind with your body, and in the logical mathematical qualifying things, making hypotheses and the proving them, and the interpersonal sensing people feelings and motivates. And now we can summarize that after examining the popular competing theories of intelligence, it becomes clear that there are many different forms of this seemingly simple concept. And then we can say that while on the other hand, Spearman claims that intelligence is generalizable across many different areas of life. And on the other hand, psychologists such as Thurston, Gardner, and Sternberg hold that intelligence is like a tree with many different branches, each representing a specific form of intelligence. And next, Ajad is defined you about these.
Assalamu alaikum. My name is Asjad Ali and I will explain cognitive psychology. What is cognitive psychology? Cognitive psychology is the study of human acquire, process and store information from their environment. In simple words, it stores information from its environment about human. Study mental process such as perception, memory, attention, decision making and language. Relatively young branch of psychology in 1960s. Perception. Perception involves both the physical senses as well as the cognitive process involved in interpreting those senses. Essentially, it is how people come to understand the world around them through the interpretation of stimuli. Early psychologists like Edward B. Titchener began to work with perception in their structuralist approach to psychology. Cognitive processes. There are three types of cognitive processes. The main focus of cognitive psychologists is on the mental process that affects behavior. Those processes include but are not limited to the following three stages of memory. First, sensory memory storage holds sensory information. Short-term memory storage holds information. It holds only information temporarily for analysis and retrieves information from the long-term memory. Long-term memory holds information over an extended period of time, which receives information from the short-term memory. Thank you for your attention. If you have any question, please ask it. We will definitely answer.